Welcome back to Inside F&M Wrestling. It's the 1st of March, and the season is coming to a close. We got EIWA action coming up. Coach Rogers, Edgar Garcia alongside him. Coach, let's talk where we left off. You guys have won the last 3 dual meets, George Mason, Millersville, and Sacred Heart. Those have got to be good wins coming into EIWA for your guys. Give them a little bit of confidence going forward, and they were good wins themselves.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for, finish strong. It's been a rough dual meet season, just with guys being injured, guys being out, and kind of shifting around lineups. But it was nice for our guys to kind of bring it all together the last 3 dual meets and cap off with the win, give us some momentum going into the conference. The George Mason, it's always competitive, especially being on the road. But the last 2 finishing off at home, so the last 2 home dual meets, winning them at home, and then finishing off with the seniors here, kind of giving them a nice kind of send off against the Millersville and retaining the Rupp Cup for the 8th year. There's a lot of good positive stuff to end on at a dual meet format, but also a lot of good individual performances, a lot of good things that we've done, and we've kind of talked about that. In those last 3 dual meets, I think we won 6 out of the 10 head-to-heads, and if we do that, we talked about that, the whole season. If we can at least win 5 or 6 of the head-to-heads out of the 10, we're in the fight. And we've been coming up short a lot of the times, being on the other end, only winning 4, and it's tough to do. So, and each individual dual meet, there was individuals that stepped up and got either significant wins for us, or got bonus points, or didn't give up bonus points that made a huge difference in the outcome. So we're happy with that. Finishing off with those performances, and now just focusing in on the EIWAs and the conference.
Edgar had one of those big matches against Millersville, 9-8 win. You get an escape with 19 seconds remaining. Pretty incredible that match overall. Really back and forth. What was going through your mind during that match, and kind of what were you doing that worked, and how were you able to pull it out in the end?
Well, I knew going into the match, I'll be honest, I knew I'd never beaten the kid. So that was in the back of my mind, but because that stuff lingers. And really what I just kept telling myself, you just got to stay positive, like do what I do best, and that's continue to push the pace. That's what I kept doing, trying to get on my attacks. The more I attack, the better, more comfortable I feel. So just trying to keep the high pace and making, getting my offense going.
That was a great day for you too. Senior day, you get your parents to come. Your sister also was there. What's that kind of meant to your family? They've come to every match. Your dad's in the stands. He's having a great time. He loves watching you wrestle. How has wrestling kind of brought together your family and all of that has come with it? F&M, I feel like, has been a great experience for you.
Yeah, my dad loves wrestling, and his love for the sport. I also love it. I'm so grateful he got me into it. But yeah, my dad loves the community. He loves all our team members, the parents, and just the education that I'm getting here. So it's definitely brought us closer together, I'd say, and it's been such a fun ride.
Let's talk about EIWAs this upcoming weekend. Coach, you've got 6 guys in the lineup who it's going to be their first time wrestling in the tournament, but you also have some experience. Edgar, he's the most experienced in the lineup. This is going to be his 3rd time out. And then Antonio Paluzzi, who in 2016 placed 6th at EIWAs, made it to the NCAA tournament. What are you looking for? What are the expectations of your guys, and how have you been preparing the last 2 weeks?
Really it's just focusing on individual things. We kind of talk about we got what we got. You're not going to do any big transitions, any big adjustments at this point in the game. So just trying to fix those little nuances. Kind of pushing the conditioning a little bit more, but really just resting guys as much as we possibly can, healing up any little injuries, any small little nicks and dings that we have. But really just trying to get their mind right, getting their head right, and getting them focused in on what they need to do individually. But yeah, we have a lot of youth, and that's been exploited throughout the season. It's hard to verbalize what this level of wrestling is about until you experience. And the same thing with the conference. It's hard to express to them what to expect, but they're very seasoned guys. They put their hands on most of these guys, and so they know what they're getting into. It's how they're going to perceive it. And what the biggest thing we talked about is not looking at seedings, rankings. Those are for fans. I think the technology is great nowadays because it gives you a lot of insight on wrestling, but I think also for athletes it could be counterproductive because you can get go through the tournament in your head so many different ways, and what people are blogging, texting, Instagramming about, so we're trying to avoid that, and hopefully they're not focusing on that. It's one match at a time, one guy at a time, and we talk about this every year. There's 2 guarantees. The guys are supposed to win will, and the guys are supposed to win won't. Which end of that are you going to be on? And I hopefully, following Edgar's lead, he's been there 3 years in a row, and Pelusi was there a couple years ago, redshirted last year, but a year before he placed, and he was one of those guys that beat guys that he weren't supposed to because he had one good match, and that kind of sparked a series of really good performances after that. And we can go, year by year, our program and other programs of guys who did that, unseeded guys getting the finals, unseeded guys place. We had, Scott Stevens did that a few years ago, so it's who's gonna wrestle their best competition in those days, those 2 days, hopefully is what we're at. But you never know, so we're hoping that our guys have enough experience throughout the season to be prepared. I know the coaching staff has our guys ready, mentally. We're doing some mental preparations to make sure they're ready to go, and physically, our training staff and our athletic trainers are doing what they can to kind of make everyone feel as good as they can physically.
Edgar, you've been there 3 years in a row. What's the mindset going in for you? And also, on Saturday and Sunday, how are you conducting yourself? How are you preparing for East match? Just kind of walk us through this weekend and what to expect.
Well, definitely you got to think of it. It's a great opportunity to compete. That's one of the mindset principles we've been going over all season, and I love that perspective because really competing, especially now coming down to the end, it is an opportunity that I'm never going to have ever again. So it's definitely an awesome opportunity to compete and really just stay positive. Some of these throughout the season, I won some matches that years prior I had lost, and that was just because of my positivity and just continuing to fight. So really, I'm going to keep that same attitude going in, just fight, keep that high pace that I feel comfortable at, and just enjoy the ride, really.
You talk about this is the last time you're going to be able to do it. You're a senior, you're going to be graduating in May. What have you taken away from this program, and what are you looking to do as an alumni coming back? What does this program mean to you, and what have you learned from your experience here?
This program means so much. I definitely see myself coming back here as frequently as possible to watch the guys wrestle, go to the EIWAs and support them, and just come in the room and wrestle with them whenever I can. But it's shaped me as a person a lot. It's taught me a lot about myself. Coach Rogers, I really thank him for teaching me it's not about the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. So I take that approach into my matches all the time. It's been great. It's hard to articulate, but I love it.
Well, there's a lot of fight, I'm sure, and you're a small dog, but you got it going for you. Good luck this weekend, Coach. Good luck as well, and we wish the best for your guys.
Thank you.